Hey everyone, what if I told you the next 20 minutes you're going to learn how to build analytic systems that typically cost businesses tens of thousands of dollars and months of development, except we're going to do it for free in minutes without writing a single line of code. I'm Bobby Gilbert, founder of the GPT Lab. We're a boutique AI agency with a B2B software portfolio. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how AI is democratizing data analytics, making it accessible to every business, not just the ones with big budgets. So let's start with the foundation. What exactly is vibe coding? This is a term that's taking the tech world by storm. You probably have already heard it. And you need to understand it because it's about to change everything about how you work with technology. This is a quote from Andre Carpathy, former director of AI at Tesla and co-founder of OpenAI. In February, he posted this on X about what he calls vibe coding. He says he doesn't really code anymore. He just describes what he wants and AI builds it. And more recently, MIT Sloan Management Review picked up on this in July, and now they're saying this is transforming not just coding, but how we analyze data. They call it a shift from vibe coding to vibe analytics. Think about that. If the person who built Tesla's self-driving AI and MIT's business researchers are both saying that this is revolutionary, what does this mean for your business? It means the playing field just got leveled. You no longer need expensive developers or data scientists. You just need to describe what you want in plain English. So now that you understand the concept, let's talk about the vibe coding landscape. Let me show you the actual tools that make vibe coding possible. These are the platforms where you'll actually build your analytic systems. And the best part is they're all free to start. Platforms like Lovable. This is my personal favorite for dashboards and analytics. It creates beautiful interfaces and understands businesses' needs incredibly well. You literally just describe what you want to see and it builds it out. Bolt is another one. It's lightning fast, great for when you need something deployed immediately, has fantastic templates you can customize just by asking changes. And then Replit, which is a little bit more advanced, great for team collaboration, complex projects, and perfect when you want to scale up. Here's the key. They all work exactly the same way. You just describe what you want in plain English, and the AI builds it. You deploy it instantly, no coding bootcamp required, no hiring developers, no waiting weeks for development. Think about that. The tools that would have cost you tens of thousands of dollars to build last year, you can now create yourself on your lunch break. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it in a few minutes. We're going to talk about best practices and everything else. So let's get real about what this means for your business. I want to show you the direct comparison between how things work with and without vibe coding. This is where you'll see why this is such a game changer. So with the traditional approach, according to Glassdoor, the average data analyst salary is up to $95,000 per year, and a decent developer is up to $150,000. And that's if you can find a good one and afford them. You wait 3 to 6 months to see a working analytics system, and every change request goes into a queue. And here's the killer. A Gartner study found that 85% of analytics projects fail to deliver the expected business value. Why? Because something always gets lost in translation between what you need and what gets built. But with vibe coding and vibe analytics, the tools are free to start, and you can build a working prototype in 5 minutes. I'll show you mine in a moment. And if you just want to change something, you just tell the AI what you want built differently. And here's what MIT's research confirms. This isn't an incremental improvement. They're calling it a fundamental shift in how humans work with data. We're moving from formal queries and dashboards to what they call improvised multimodal exploration. In simple terms, you have a conversation with your data and it talks back with insights. All right, so we've seen the tools around vibe coding. Now let's anchor this with some data about vibe analytics. Just last month, MIT Sloan Management Review published a landmark analysis by Michael Schrage. And just hear how he frames this shift. He calls it the Excel era asks what happened. The dashboard era asks why did it happen? And the Vibe Analytics era asks, what emerges if we explore together? That last line, explore together, this is the heart of Vibe Analytics. It's not about static charts. It's about dynamic conversations with your data. And according to MIT, companies leveraging this approach report faster time to insight and true democratization of analytical power. No longer just for data science, this is for every team. So now let's get real about why this matters for you. Most small and medium-sized businesses juggle 10 to 15 different tools between Google Analytics, Stripe, MailChimp, CRM platforms, you name it. And a recent DataBox survey found that 73% of SMBs spend over 5 hours each week just cobbling together basic reports. And even then, they still can't afford a full-time data analyst. They miss critical patterns and they make decisions on gut. So what happens? They're flying blind, missing churn signals, marketing channels, bleeding budget, all because their insights arrive too late and too sparse. So you can see how without Vibe Analytics, you can react to problems only after they bite you. You lose revenue chasing dead-end strategies. You fall behind competitors who see patterns first. But Vibe Analytics can help you predict issues before they explode, unlock hidden profit centers instantly, and optimize spend in real time and outmaneuver big players. This is such an improvement on the status quo. It helps you move from firefighting to foresight. With the old way, you're doing things like generating reports on last month's traffic. With the new way, you're asking AI, what's happening with my business and what should I do about it? It's a two-way exploratory conversation that has unlimited potential, because with Vibe Analytics, the AI can surface unexpected patterns you didn't even know to look for, connect dots across your data sources, deliver actionable recommendations, not just raw numbers. So now that you understand why Vibe Analytics is such a game changer, let me show you how it actually works in practice. In the next section, I'll walk you through the exact prompts I use to build this Vibe Analytics dashboard, and then we'll go into actual conversations with my Google Analytics data to derive insights using Vibe Analytics. As you can see, each website has a text field where you can give it a prompt. And it's using the latest LLM models to generate code and build software. So the initial prompt that you give these platforms will dictate the roadmap for the product that you want to build. But before you give it a prompt, you want to make sure that prompt is well thought out. So what I do in my workflow, I start off with just very basic prompt about what I want to build. So in this case, I just told it, hey, I want you to build a software platform that will allow me to connect my Google Analytics. I want to see a dashboard of my data across various metrics for web traffic. And the key here is I say, I don't want you to write any code yet. I want you to write an implementation plan first. So that is key. So you start off with a basic idea. You don't paste that into these platforms. You go into a ChatGPT or Claude first, and you tell Claude or ChatGPT to write an implementation plan for whatever you want to build. So in this case, I want to run Vibe Analytics on my Google Analytics data. And in order to do that, I'm going to need to write software that will connect to my Google Analytics. And I want to see a dashboard of all my data. So I told ChatGPT to write a plan for building this software. And then from here, you can paste this plan into these tools. Now, these are the top tools for vibe coding as it stands today, August 2025. The AI space moves very fast, so there could be competitors that are much more advanced and will surpass these players. But for web-based vibe coding, these are the top four. You have Bolt.new, Lovable.dev, Replit.com, and V0.dev. Now, these are web-based vibe coding prototyping tools. If you want to be more advanced, you can download Cursor, for example, or another platform called Windsurf. And these platforms allow you to download editors or IDEs to get even more advanced with your AI-based code generation. But we're going to keep it simple here in this demonstration and talk about Bolt, Lovable, Replit, and Zero. So what you do is you take the plan and you drop it into either one of these tools. Now, I chose Lovable for this example, and I started off with a prompt just like this and simply pasted the prompt into Lovable and went back and forth with Lovable to generate software that looks pretty much close to what I had in my mind. It allowed me to connect to my Google Analytics, and now I can see a dashboard very similar to what I would find on Google. So this is the first part. So this is the vibe coding part. We're basically talking to AI to build software to connect to any data source that we want. So in this case, it's Google Analytics, but I can also tell it, hey, now I want you to connect to my Shopify, or now I want you to connect to my Stripe, or now I want you to connect to my Salesforce or HubSpot. And it's going to walk me through the steps in doing that. It's going to write the code, but there are going to be steps that I need to perform, such as providing certain keys to give it access to my data. So in this case, we were just starting off with Google Analytics. So now that we've built out software that can talk to my Google Analytics with Vibe coding, now we can move into Vibe Analytics. So I told Lovable to leverage a model that can pull in my Google Analytics data and derive insights. Very simple stuff. And I can improve upon the insights that it provides by improving the model, giving it more data, giving it a workflow to derive insights. But just to give you a simple example of how Vibe Analytics can provide value, I'm just going to ask a simple question like, where are my top performing traffic sources? And so it's going to pull in the data from my Google Analytics account and pull in the raw numbers and then provide insights. So it's providing insights and recommendations. It's telling me I need to diversify beyond top sources to reduce risk, invest in underperforming channels, and improve tracking. Cool. And this is sort of the raw text, and it generated these components based off of the raw text. I can tell to go deeper into a certain channel to give me some strategies to improve traffic in some of these areas, but this is a great example of me having a conversation with the data and going deeper and deeper and deeper to get more help and insights. So this is a very small example of the power of Vibe Analytics. As I mentioned, adding additional data source could enhance this greatly. So we could say, okay, connect to my Stripe account. Now we build a dashboard for Stripe. And now we say, okay, can you find any correlation on web traffic with sales, for example, or connect to my Shopify account? Can you find any correlation between these certain traffic sources with sales? Right. And now you have a model that is doing research and finding insights for you, and you don't need to hire a data analyst to derive those insights for you. So that is the basics. Level 1 of Vibe coding and Vibe Analytics. Just wanted to show you how you can build the software at a high level and then run analysis on your data. Before we look forward, let's quickly recap what we've learned. Vibe coding lets us build software in minutes with no developer required. Vibe analytics lets us glean insights in minutes with no data analysts required. Each step transforms weeks of work into minutes of self-service. We started with Google Analytics, but now imagine applying the same approach across every corner of your business, from Stripe to asking it which customers drive the highest net profit, with MailChimp and marketing, asking which campaigns deliver the greatest lifetime value, support tickets and service, asking questions like, do high-touch customers spend more, and get insights. By linking these sources, you move from siloed reports to a unified conversational intelligence platform. So let's level set and talk about the best practices we covered. When you prototype with vibe coding, you want to start off with a clear prompt. You want to paste that prompt into a platform like ChatGPT or Claude, and then tell it to build out an implementation plan or PRD that outlines each step in a very detailed way. And then you would want to take that plan and paste it into your vibe coding tool, whether it's Lovable, Replit, Bolt, Vercel. And then from there, once you've built out the application, then you continue to iterate by connecting your data. So one easy first step is to connect your Google Analytics data. The next step would be something like Stripe or your CRM, for example. Before we close out, I'd like to cover some frequently asked questions that I get from some of the coaching conversations I've had with founders. So oftentimes founders ask, what does all this cost? Right? They want to know how expensive this can be. And oftentimes they're very surprised when they find out that most of these vibe coding tools offer free tiers for basic use, and the advanced features are only $20 a month. They ask, I'm not technical, can I do this? And I say, absolutely, because I did this without writing a single line of code. You just need to know how to navigate these tools, navigate prompt engineering, and be patient with the models. It's an iterative process. So thank you so much for joining me today. You now have a blueprint to democratize data analytics and building software and insights in minutes with no specialized staff. Enjoy the rest of the Lenovo Evolve series, and here's to making data your most powerful teammate.